Every day is a battle for your mind raging. Information coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the place for truth. The voice of a generation that still has the will to believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
Okay, everybody, radio stations across the country, honored to be with you as always. Happy Monday. You can email us, freedom@charliekirk.com, or subscribe to the Charlie Kirk Show podcast page. There are many stories happening today. Kilmar Abrego Garcia will likely be deported back to his country of origin. We'll cover that story if we have time. We have the coach, Senator Tuberville, joining us in just a second. And by the way, he'll be deported to Zoran Mamdani's country, to Uganda. He can start a new life in Uganda. And there are a couple other things happening here that I want to focus on. President Trump wants to build on the success unfolding in D.C. In fact, we should have a little bit of a ticker counter on the bottom of the Charlie Kirk Show here. We should have a little bit of a ticker. The ticker should be 12 days without a murder in Washington, D.C. Now, this is killing season. This is August. This is where the murders usually happen. Weather is good. A lot of youths and teenagers go out in the streets and start killing each other. Carjackings are way down. Robberies are down. Arrests are up. Immigration arrests are way up. And just anecdotally, the people that I know in Washington, D.C. say, I feel like I can almost walk my street again. I feel like I could take the subway again. I feel like I can go grocery shopping again. I feel like I can go to the park again. Washington, D.C. is one of the most dangerous cities on the planet. Far more dangerous than the capital of Colombia. And Colombia is one of the most murderous countries in the world. I've been told you can finally relax at a red light. That you don't have to worry about two youths or teenagers coming up and carjacking. Now, of course, I know when you think of youths and teenagers, you're probably thinking of white supremacists, of course. White supremacists are the ones that are going to come breaking into your cars. Now, contrary to the left's panic, we did not need troops gunning people down. Nobody is getting oppressed. This shows the shallowness and the just elementary way that the left views politics. Oh, Trump is going to bring in troops. They're going to start gunning people down. Nope, best of our knowledge, not a single firearm has been discharged. Just their presence alone has resulted in now 12 days without a murder. Every day this is happening in Washington, D.C. is a real-time example of just how the left should not be trusted for anything, let alone for urban governance. Now, I can't imagine we have a lot of inner-city blacks that watch this show, but insofar that we can clip this and put it on TikTok and on Instagram, on Twitter, you guys should look at what's happening in D.C. and know that you don't have to live the way that you're living in Philadelphia, in Chicago, in Atlanta. You do not have to live this way. You don't. You do not have to live this way. All that matters is that the enforcers are out on the streets and sending the message that crime will not be punished. If you tell criminals that their behavior will not be tolerated, you get less crime. It's just that simple. You stop crime by fighting crime, not with programs, not by social workers, not by root causes. No, just force. This is all about quality of life. You can now take your family to dinner in Washington, D.C. This right here is 285. This is President Trump proving you can stop black-on-black crime. In fact, President Donald Trump should be getting the Man of the Year award from the NAACP. President Donald Trump should be awarded at the Black Entertainment Television Awards for what he is doing here. President Donald Trump should be given the Hero Medal of Freedom equivalent in the black community. Far more than those charlatans, Al Sharpton, otherwise known as Al Charlatan. President Donald Trump should be given the BET award. They should say, thank you for reducing the black-on-black crime. Thank you for reducing the black-on-black carnage. Thank you for reducing the amount of young black kids that would be caught in the crossfire. Thank you for reducing the amount of young kids that walk to school and get caught in the drive-by shootings. This is cut 285.
What Donald Trump proved that it's possible to end black-on-black crime. He proved that, right? In D.C., his troops, no murders for the entire weekend. That is insane. And to think that the left would protest against that. To think that the left would say, oh my God, it is a bad thing that black people are now stop killing each other. And the reason why that is a bad thing for them is because that is a core of liberalism, right? That is part of what makes them victims. So if you take away each sort of victim mentality peg or pillar, that's one less person that's going to have a victim mentality.
And some of the leftists are now taking the streets against Donald Trump, saying Black Lives Matter. Do you understand? This is the breaking of the urban Democrat Party happening in front of your eyes. They got nothing, and President Trump forced the issue. This is so good, everybody. And we've been talking on this program forever that we cannot forget our cities. We need universal school choice. We need vouchers. We need to break the public sector cartels. We need to march the troops into the streets, bring down violent crime, increase what is called the clearance rate. Do you know only half of murders across the country actually get solved? This weekend in Washington, D.C., Black Lives Matter were chanting. They were walking the streets saying Black Lives Matter, and not a single black person was murdered for the first time in 12 days in August. Blake, can you find the last time that there was a 12-day streak where a black kid wasn't murdered in August in D.C.? During the lockdowns and then during Floydapalooza, I think like 2 or 3 were being killed a day. So D.C. is this amazing test case, 12 days without a murder, and we're going to stay on this program. This is one of the greatest urban success stories. And look, Congress, they're going to be like, oh, well, President Trump has to pull off. Wait, so you do not want young black kids to be alive? Understand the inherent contradiction here. And then for people of all races, they can walk the streets. They don't have to worry about their cars being stolen. So, why not Chicago as well? The same way that the southern border was closed thanks to desire, thanks to an act of the political will, why don't we now focus on Chicago, where I grew up? Chicago, my hometown. Grew up in the suburbs. President Trump last Friday began touting a plan to deploy the National Guard in Chicago as well. And crime will go down when the National Guard comes to Chicago. It hasn't been formally announced yet, but President Trump officials are planning a deployment. But how will this happen? We don't know. Taking over D.C. was easy thanks to the home rule exemption. It allows President Trump clear authority to federalize the police, and it has worked. Acting in Chicago will be a lot harder. I assume the White House lawyers are looking into that. Let's first play this one. This is cut 283. Brandon Johnson is going to resist President Trump. Oh, well, this city is used to fighting tyranny. And here you just see 3 black guys. And Eugene Daniels is fine. But the other 2 guys, Eugene Daniels, he's just playing a part. That's all he's doing. In this clip we're going to play in 283, I would love an opportunity to get these guys on camera. And this can be so much fun on the campus tour, by the way, because there's going to be some, young black kids being like, President Trump is a fascist, marching troops into D.C. Oh, really? You don't like the fact that for 12 days a black person was not killed for 12? What is your argument? So they call us racists every day. You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're racist. Whatever. Yawn. I roll my eyes. Interesting that we're the ones that actually roll in the troops to make sure more blacks are alive. And then you guys are the ones that then play the race card. Play cut 283.
And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people in this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
His popularity is historically low. He's Mr. Defund the Police. He got booed at some sort of gay parade recently. 20 to 25% popularity. He's not a smart person at all. Anyone who works around him is like, this guy's a complete space cadet, running one of America's greatest cities. Never should have been allowed to become mayor of Chicago. We'll continue in a second. ReliefFactor.com. That is ReliefFactor.com. Knee pain, back pain, joint pain, elbow pain. Check it out right now at ReliefFactor.com. Relief Factor is amazing. If you guys want to be able to get out of pain, go to ReliefFactor.com. With Relief Factor, you can break up pain just like Anthony did as he writes in. I was dealing with debilitating pain and fatigue. I've been taking Relief Factor for about 2 months, and I'm back to running with my businesses, fishing, gardening, doing the things that really matter to me. Relief Factor is 100% drug-free, and it targets the inflammation that causes pain so you can move better, feel better, and actually enjoy life again. Try the 3-week quick start for just $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That is 1-800-4RELIEF. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That is ReliefFactor.com. Email us, as always, freedom@charliekirk.com. Chicago might be next. We'll be right back.